Hi guys, thanks for tuning in back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you the ways in which a person can actually apply for a residency permit even after getting a negative asylum decision in Germany. Coming right up. So guys, if you are watching this video and you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. You just need to hit that red button below this video and you are subscribed. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. And in fact, I am challenging myself for the next 7 days to upload a video every single day, and you guys are gonna help me to achieve this by putting in your video requests below in the comment section, and I'm gonna be sitting down and looking into each and every topic and doing a video about it. So if there is something that you're curious about, that is something that I can answer related to living in Germany or working in Germany or immigration in Germany or the asylum process in Germany, then please feel free to share your questions in the comment section down below, and I will do my research and come up with a video to answer your question to the best of my knowledge. So don't forget to also hit the likes button if you're watching, and let's get to point number one. So point number one of how to get your residency permit after a negative asylum decision is through something called an integrated stay. And this one is actually applicable to people who have been living with the so-called Duldung, or a tolerated stay, or a temporary residency permit for up to like 8 years, for at least 8 years. So during these 8 years, maybe this person has been working, this person has taken the time to learn the language, this person has taken the chance to educate their children. If they have school-going children, then the government gives the person the chance to apply for residency and actually stay in Germany normally and legally. And that goes to the point where it's really not a good idea to stay underwaters. You see, because if you stay underwaters, you are actually your stay will only start being counted the day you now receive either a temporary residency permit or a Duldung. So, so many people might actually tell you that, oh, the asylum process is really bad, the asylum process is gruesome, you better stay underwater. And then what is your plan with staying underwater? What if you fall sick? Because the advantage of actually just applying for asylum, if for any reason you're not able to go back to your country, is that in any case you are gonna be covered by insurance. You have health insurance, you have a place to stay, you are registered in Germany, and your stay is actually counted from the time you actually got registered in Germany. It doesn't matter if you've been staying in Germany for 5 years underwater. The day you now get registered in Germany, that is when they will start counting into the time that they can say, okay, you've spent this amount of time in Germany, now we can give you a residency, and now we can give you this and that and those. So my advice, do not let anyone lie to you to stay underwater. I don't know what your plan would be when staying underwater, unless you have an exit plan. I may not know, but otherwise do not stay underwater. I remember when I went to apply for asylum, I was with this guy also from Kenya, had been staying underwater for 2 years, eventually still had to seek asylum and had to start from scratch. And yet the people who applied maybe for asylum the year that he came in already finished 2 years, and they are moving closer into being able to get a residency permit also and stay legally, or stay like normal residents in Germany. Point number two is something called Chancenaufenthaltsrechts, or right of opportunity to stay. And this is something that has been introduced in the recent years to give the people that are well integrated in Germany a chance to stay permanently in Germany and live a normal life. And this is applicable to people who actually have stayed in Germany for at least 5 years, and they hit the 5 years by January 1st of 2022. So then these people can apply for this Chancenaufenthalt. When you apply for this document, then you are granted 1 year residency, which is like a probationary period. And then during this 1 year, they will want to see that you are you are well integrated, you are acquiring the necessary language skills of at least A2, you are working and not depending on the government, and also you're not involved in crime. And also a very important point is that your identity must be cleared, because there is this thing that, you know, somebody will tell you when you go to apply for asylum: lie, do not tell the truth about your name, do not tell the truth about your age, do not tell the truth about your country of origin. All those things will come biting back at you. Some people, you know, even completely change their identity, eventually get their residency and all that, but eventually maybe they need to get married, or maybe they need to get this and that, and they are asked to provide documents from their country, maybe their school leaving certificate, maybe their birth certificate, maybe their whatever, maybe their parents' certificate, and you completely change your identity, you change your name, you change, and that is where things come biting back at you, and they backfire so bad. You get yourself into a legal process. So do not let anyone lie to you when you're going to apply for asylum. Give as much truth as possible, especially when it comes to your identity, to avoid problems in future. I just had to mention that. So point number 3 of how a person can get their residency in Germany is through an Ausbildung. So even as a person living with a Duldung or a temporary residency permit, obviously a person with a negative asylum decision, you have the chance to apply for an Ausbildung. And to qualify for an Ausbildung, you need the necessary language skills of at least B2 in German for most Ausbildung. Some will accept somebody who has B1, but mostly you need to get at least a B2, and then you can apply for the Ausbildung. And then once you get the Ausbildung, you can apply for something called an Ausbildung Duldung, or a tolerated stay because of your Ausbildung. When you are doing this Ausbildung with an Ausbildung Duldung, then your deportation is suspended. During this time that you're doing your Ausbildung, you cannot be deported, even though your asylum decision was already passed and you got a rejection. You cannot be deported. You finish your Ausbildung, which mostly runs for 3 years, then you're given 6 months to look for a job. Within these 6 months, if you find a job related to the course of study, then you are allowed to apply for a residency permit, and then you start living your normal life. And of course, your whole asylum seeking process is thrown away anyway. So yes, that is also another way that you can get your residency permit in Germany after getting a negative asylum decision. But you need to pay attention to the fact that you need the correct language skills, and also most Ausbildungs will require that you have completed your secondary school education even in your country, because they will need your certificates to be like they'll do something called Anerkennung, or verification of your qualification, or they compared to the German standards. If they are compared to a high school leaving certificate and you got a certain grade, then you're allowed to proceed with your Ausbildung. If you want to apply for an Ausbildung, you can look around the topic, or if you want me to share or to shed some more light about Ausbildung in Germany, then please put a comment in the comment section down below, and I will do a video basically touching Ausbildung. Number 4 point of how to apply for or how to get a residency permit in Germany after your asylum application has been rejected is through work. So when you are working, you're also creating a path for you to eventually get a residency permit in Germany. And in case you're asking yourself, that is the path that I chose, because obviously point number 1 doesn't apply to me. I haven't been that long in Germany. Point number 2 doesn't apply to me. I haven't been that long in Germany. I've only actually been holding a Duldung for 1 year. Okay, so those do not apply to me. And yes, I could have applied for an Ausbildung, but I just thought, you know what, I already studied hotel and hospitality management for 4 years in the university. I have my degree. I do not want to start all over again studying for another course. And because I was already given an opportunity to work with my qualifications from my country, then there was really no point for me to start a whole course whatsoever. You know, some people are forced to start a new career path because maybe their career the path that they took, or this whatever the course of study they studied in their country, is not allowing them to get a job in Germany. Then in that case, they are free to start a whole new course altogether. But for me, it did not make sense. I chose to stick with working. And of course, when you're working, there is also the law that was passed that for people who entered Germany before or by 1st of January 2018, and they have been living with a duldung also for a number of years, then they can apply for something called a Beschäftigungsduldung, and this one is tolerated stay because of work. And if the person has been working, they have the right language skills, they have not been receiving help from the government, and if they stay with this Beschäftigungsduldung for a period of up to 18 months, then they are able to now apply for a residency, or I don't know if it's usually extended to again 35 months or something like that, but something like that, to those lengths. So after some time, it's either 18 months or 30 something months, then you're able to get your residency permit. So it all lapses after some time, maybe after 3 years working, or after 3 years doing your Ausbildung, you're now able to get your residency permit. And you can be surprised how fast 3 years can lapse. I mean, I'm already 1.5 years in Germany. Just the other day I announced that I was coming to Germany. 1.5 years have already passed, so 3 years is not such a big deal. You can do it. Just make sure you are doing something with yourself. And the thing is, to be able to work, some jobs may require language skills, some jobs may not require language skills. There are people who are able to get like jobs with the minimum language requirements, you know, but at least if you're going to work in Germany, because you're going to work with maybe a supervisor who cannot speak English, you're going to work with some colleagues who cannot speak English, so the very little minimal basic German language qualification requirements, at least have those A1 or A2, be able to communicate, be able to understand simple instructions for you to even consider applying for a job in Germany, for you to just make your life easier. Point number 5 is through marriage. If you are a person living with a duldung or living with a temporary residency permit, then if you eventually meet a person who has German permanent residency or a German citizenship, and you people agree to settle down in marriage, you can apply to get married in Germany. The only difference here is that now, if you do not have your German residency permit, you're not allowed to get married in Denmark. Usually getting married in Denmark is the easier way for people to get married in Europe, just like people go to get married in Vegas, things can happen overnight, or documents can be prepared, the wedding can be arranged in 3 days. You get your marriage certificate, and then with the marriage certificate you can now apply or register your marriage in Germany. And when you registered your marriage in Germany, you can now apply for a residency permit based on marriage. So that is also a way of getting your residency permit. It might take some time because of the bureaucracy in Germany. There are so many documents that are required. You might need to prove your single status. You might need to prove that you're really divorced, from both parties, the bride and the groom. There are so many documents that will be required, but you can sit down, gather your documents, put them together if it's something that you both have decided to do, and then book a wedding date. Usually when you register for a wedding, you need to get married within 6 months, otherwise then your documents expire. So you can look into all that, and then once you're married, of course, then now you can get your residency through marriage. Okay, and last but not least is through having a German child. And how do you have a German child? When you get pregnant with a person who has, again, permanent residency or citizenship. I'm not very sure of a person who gets pregnant, or maybe with a person who just has a normal residency, the normal residency permit. I'm not sure, but I'm really sure that the person at least has to have permanent residency status or citizenship. If you know more about this, maybe you can comment on the comment section down below which kind of residency title a person needs before maybe you as the mother or you as the father of such a child can be given residency, or the child can also be given a residency permit. There are some situations where the child can be given a residency permit, but you as the mother still be denied a residency permit, especially again where it comes to the point where your identity is not cleared. You lied and you have not provided any documents to prove your origin or to prove your identity. Even if you get that child, you will still not be given a residency. You'll not be given a citizenship. The child's identity can be proven, through the father, but you will still not get your residency. So make sure your identity is proven as quickly as possible. Do not let anyone lie to you to provide false information during your asylum application process, especially information related to your origin. Can come biting back at you, just as I said. Yes, so usually when you get when you're pregnant or with your child that has German citizenship or origin, or maybe the father or the mother is a permanent resident, then you need something called a Vaterschaft Anerkennung. So whether you, the father, is having a German child with a German woman, or you, the mother, is having a German child with a German man, then the father in both cases has to acknowledge that they are responsible for the pregnancy. And in some cases where there is reason for doubt, you might be asked to provide a DNA test, and only when a DNA test proves the identity of the child can you apply for the Vaterschaft Anerkennung. And then with the Vaterschaft Anerkennung, once the child is born, you can now apply for a birth certificate for the child. Once you get the birth certificate for the child, you can now apply for a passport for the child. And if the child now has maybe the German passport, they will be given also a German residency permit. And after they have their documents, you, the mother, will now get your documents, or you, the father, will now get your documents through your German child, or through the child that has German roots. So guys, I hope you found this video useful, and yes, those are the ways that you can apply for a German residency permit even after getting a negative asylum decision. So just to encourage you, because you got a rejection, it's not an end in itself. You can still find the opportunities to build your life back, because the thing is, without getting that residency permit, you're not able to travel outside the country, you're not able to reunite with your family. Some people are separated from their children, like I myself am separated from my child, with a very young child that I don't want to miss a huge part of their lives, of their development. Like, just being a virtual parent is not being a parent enough, but sometimes circumstances force us. But yes, if you find yourself in a situation like mine, use one of those ways, whichever is applicable for you. You or know your situation. If you can go to school, go to school. If you can learn, you can learn. If you want to give birth, give birth. If you want to get married, get married. The opportunities that are available for you, and just make sure you get on your foot as fast as possible so that you can continue living your normal life. After getting a rejection, the only thing that you're waiting for, if you're not careful, is a deportation, and that is not something that you want. You did not come to this country to be deported. I mean, you should have just walked back to your own country, but you have a reason why you are here. So then work towards staying here and getting properly integrated. Do not forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you on another video. Bye.